Welcome, beautiful people of all ages, shapes, and colors, to another episode of the Hit Your Free Throws podcast, where we encourage you to stick to the basics. I'm one of your co-hosts, TV, aka TV on basketball, alongside my co-host, Jay, aka Knockdown Jay. How's it going, my guy?
It's going good, man. Different kind of episode today, different kind of analysis today. So I'm kind of interested to see how we do this.
Yes, and for the first time in Hit Your Free Throws history, we have our guest here today. We've been on the show a couple of times, but this is his first time coming over to our side. I want to introduce you to Marcus from the Go Talk podcast. Marcus, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm gonna say it's about time. You didn't get this out the way here, okay? I don't know. I don't know what took me so long. I don't know if maybe the invitation was lost in the mail. Okay, I don't know if maybe Jalen was cock blocking. I don't know what's happening, but I appreciate the invite. You know, it's long overdue. I'm ready to talk some basketball.
Oh my.
Hey, look, man. Hey, look. If it was gonna be the first guest, it was 100% gonna be you. It was honestly like our bad for not having guests sooner, but if anything, Marcus was obviously gonna be the first guest. And if you've guys seen the Go Talk show with Marcus, you know how Jay and Marcus can be on these episodes. So we know that we're not gonna have a good episode ahead of us. So yeah, we have a lot of great topics.
When I was a kid, I don't know about Jalen, but I was taught to never let somebody come to my house, put their foot on my couch, rummage through my refrigerator, and beat them down. So I don't know about Jalen, but I have no problem putting my feet on Jalen's couch right now and rummaging through his refrigerator and beating him down. It's about time, you know.
Well,
it's about time.
I hate to break it to you, but I have couch covers and a lock on my refrigerator, so it's one of them tough things where you're just gonna have to work on yourself and order out. You feel me?
Okay. I put my outside clothes on in your bed. Now what?
You still took your shoes off at the door, gang. It's all right.
No, I didn't.
Well, Jay, come on, Jay, protect this pod. All right, man, we're gonna get into this episode. We're gonna get into this episode real quick. But of course, before we start,
stupid, bro.
but before we start, we do have to plug our socials. Remember to follow our individual accounts at TV on Basketball, at Knockdown J, as well as the Routine Jumper, as well as Marcus's links. They'll be down in the description down below. In terms of the Hit Your Free Throws pod, remember to follow us on TikTok and Instagram for the best daily NBA content. If you're watching us on YouTube, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you're listening to us on any of the podcast networks, Spotify, Apple, please remember to subscribe and leave a review. That would be highly, highly appreciated. Guys, let's get into it, because we're going to start off with a topic. I feel like every other talk show has been going about this for the longest time, and this pod has been, kind of pushing it away for a while, but we finally going to go over here and talk about it. The Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, the Los Angeles Lakers. They have been struggling since their in-season tournament win. They are currently under 500. They got a win against the Clippers last night as of the time of recording, but they have still had some issues going on. They've had the reports going on with Darvin Ham saying that they're not a fan of his inconsistent rotations and all that, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about here. Marcus, I'm going to throw this over to you. What's going on in LA, man? What's going on with the Lakers?
I mean, normally we're so, there's people that are ready to say, oh, it's AD or it's this person or it's that person. But the Lakers have played, 36, 37 games at this point. LeBron's played at least in 34, 35 of those games. Austin Reeves has played in every game that's been played so far. I believe AD has missed like 2 games. So it's not the best 3 players on the team. The problem is that this roster is just not what it should be, right? Like Taurean Prince is looking more like Kai Cenat than he is looking like Taurean Prince, and that's not good, right? Christian Wood had a good game the other day against the Clippers, but he's not being consistent. You have so many players up and down this roster where the talent should be there, but it's not actually translating to the floor. D'Angelo Russell, I mean, geez, I don't really know what to say other than that. He just hasn't really been good. And Darvin Ham, I mean, Darvin Ham came into the season like, oh, we're going to put LeBron on a minutes restriction. I mean, in what world? I think that should have been the first sign of trouble there. Why are we putting our best player on a minutes restriction? I understand, he's on the other side of 38. Now he's 39, right? But he still can go. He still can jump out of the gym. He's still outrunning a lot of these 20-somethings and lower 30-somethings, right? So the Lakers have a lot of things to fix, but the Lakers are still going to be a playoff team. The Lakers aren't necessarily going to go maybe to the finals. The Lakers aren't maybe going to go, just straight to the championship. But, I mean, the thing is, we said this last season about the Lakers. The Lakers found themselves in the Western Conference Finals at the start of the season 2-10. So, I mean, when you have a LeBron James team, anything can happen. This definitely isn't the way that people thought the season was going to go, especially not in LA. But I've learned in all my years of watching basketball that you can never count out a team with LeBron James on it until they're no longer able to play basketball. So whether they're under 500, whether they're at 500, whether they're over 500, doesn't really matter. All that matters is as long as LeBron James is healthy and playing basketball, this team's going to have a shot to make some noise. So I'm honestly not all that concerned about the Lakers.
Interesting. Jay, I'm throwing it over to you. Same question. What's going on with the Lakers?
I mean, I fall into the same boat. I think the most explainable part to it is that this team has not played up to whatever we thought it was, right? Before the season actually started, there was a bunch of people that were coming out, including myself to a certain degree, that was giving them a lot of leeway for the way that this offseason went. It seemed like a lot of things was lining up. They got Austin Reeves for what felt like a steal at the time, considering teams like the Orlando Magic or the San Antonio Spurs could have easily threw him some bread to make it competitive. Otherwise, the Lakers just were able to kind of skirt off with a reasonable contract for Austin Reeves. Being able to look at their situation and still have guys like Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt on the roster, solid situation for themselves. Gabe Vincent has not been present really, though, due to that injury, and he's been in and out of the lineup, has not been able to be consistent for him. Not only is he a steady hand, but he's probably their most significant floor spacer that was brought in this summer. Hasn't been able to bring said floor spacing. We all knew that when D'Angelo Russell was brought back, that contract, look at the way it's set up. He literally had to waive essentially his own version of a no trade clause in order to even get the extension that he's ended up signing to. So with that being the case, we ended up basically viewing that as a tradable contract. He hasn't been moved yet, but he's clearly one of the first guys on the chopping block if they are going to make any kind of moves this season before the trade deadline. So when you look at everything, this team is basically set up in a way where they were supposed to be something and they've never been able to truly actualize that from the get-go. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with them, if that makes any sense. Now, they have some like in-house keeping to handle because clearly there are a couple of things related to Darvin Ham's rotations, as you mentioned before. LeBron James has been super vocal about the fact that they're not good, to the point that he told the media that he feels like Bronny could start for their team today. Like, that's something that you have to kind of say is noteworthy when you look at the structure of their team and the fact that Bronny, I'm not saying he hasn't played well for USC, but I don't necessarily know if he would step out and start for the Lakers today and be super effective. So that goes to tell you he either thinks extremely highly of Bronny, which is likely, or extremely lowly of the Lakers, or in this case, I would actually agree it's probably a big combination of both, and that's worrisome neither here nor there. This team is not bad. They just got some stuff to figure out.
What really concerns me about the Los Angeles Lakers is the biggest talking point, or at least one of the biggest things that they preached on going into this season, was the continuity. Last year with the training camp and everything and the amount of moves they made at the trade deadline, they said, we were able to figure things out with the lack of continuity from last year. Now they brought back a lot of the guys from last year's team that made it to the Western Conference Finals. They had a starting lineup that they used throughout most of the playoffs, and D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, and Anthony Davis. But they are switching it a lot of the times throughout the season. And is it because they aren't playing well? Probably yes. But you can't just, take a lineup that was actually going to the Western Conference Finals and performing at a pretty high level and say, you know what, let's throw in a little bit of Taurean Prince for a few games this year, some Cam Reddish, some Jackson Hayes, some Jared Vanderbilt. Like, when you have this much of roster turnover and starting and changes in the starting lineup, I mean, this was a report coming from last week too, saying that there was some, turning heads when Darvin Ham switched up the starting lineup and removed D'Angelo Russell. So when you have this many changes in the starting lineup and you have players on the team that you brought in not knowing where their place in the rotation is, you're gonna raise some concerns. There's gonna be some sort of discussions within the team saying what's going on. What does the coach know? What is like what's going on? And there's gonna be some disconnect between the coach and the players. So I see that there's problems there. I don't think it's the talent necessarily involved, even though I know I wasn't a fan of the roster even before the season. But there has to just be some sort of continuity going forward. And Darvin Ham, like he has to settle on sort of lineup and kind of like ride it out because with the amount of changes in starting lineup that's going on, I know there has to do with injuries as well, but people are going to need to know the role in the team, and if you want to make a deep playoff push, people are going to have to settle themselves into those roles.
Does the trade deadline at all impact how he's able to go about this season? Like in your perspective, just on the fact that like they clearly have a minimal amount of pieces to be able to make any kind of real transitions, but even if they acquire any kind of real talent, if lineup management is the biggest question for this team, is the trade deadline even truly effective at all? Or do you think they do need to make some kind of change up to really help him settle?
It's a weird thing just because like with like LeBron teams recently is last year there was trading away the third star and Russell Westbrook for more role players in order for people to kind of fill out the rest of their roster. Same thing with the Cavaliers back in the day when they made all those trades at the trade deadline to acquire some role players that way. But a lot of the Lakers trade rumors going into this trade deadline is it possible for them to get the third star? Is Zach LaVine going there? Is some other like third star going over there? I mean, is that really the solution? I'm gonna throw it over to you guys. Like, do you think they should like trading for the third star, as reported by many outlets, the solution for this team, or is it just trying to fill out the rest, like fill up the holes?
Marcus, I guess we'll just defer to you first. Like, what do you think is an effective play going into the trade deadline with the things that's going on with this team so far, the way that they're playing coming off of the in-season tournament, and then you add in some of these roster construction issues in terms of being able to find a consistent lineup?
I mean, what does it matter? Like, people are going to find reasons to complain about it either way, right? That's the difficult thing about being. That's the one thing that I feel so sympathetic about. Not as a Lakers fan, I'm not a Lakers fan. I am a LeBron fan, but it's like as a basketball guy, right? Like, no matter what the Lakers do, people are going to talk about it, and they're gonna find something that's wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like, the Lakers brought back all of their guys from a deep playoff run, and they said, "Why are you doing that?" Right? You know, if the Lakers turn around, they trade all those guys, they go get LeBron, they're gonna, go LaVine, Siakam, whatever the case may be. What are they going to say? They're going to say, "Oh, well, that's what always happens with LeBron James' team. They turn it all over at the All-Star breaks." Like, it doesn't matter whether they trade, it doesn't matter whether they stay put, because there's always going to be somebody to say it's not working. What I know is not working is Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham needs to make up his mind. He needs to come up with a game plan. He needs to stick to it. I think that's really the problem. There was not so much this indecisiveness that we're seeing from Darvin Ham. It wasn't there last season on that run down the stretch of the postseason into the Western Conference Finals. Like, it wasn't there. He was very decisive. The lineups were the lineups, and it was what it was. And the only time someone got yanked out of the lineup or moved around was if they were just playing horrendously. Now, I get it. D'Lo hasn't been playing great. He hasn't been playing the way he should be playing, what we expect to be playing when you're extending a guy of his nature, of his caliber, right? But there's still so much indecisiveness. One minute I got Cam Reddish out here all the time. Next minute he's nowhere to be seen. I got, then it's Torian Prince, then it's Jarrett Vanderbilt. So it's not just about bringing those guys back. It's also about you still have to find a way to find the lineup that works. Sure, maybe the lineup from last season isn't going to work again this season, but you have to figure it out. The problem with the Lakers isn't necessarily the roster, because there's talent. This is a team that can compete for a championship, I would say. The problem is there's so much indecisiveness from a coaching standpoint that the players don't know what to do. Like, there's only so much you can do with talent, and like there's only so far you can go with talent. This isn't world-beating talent, right? This isn't a team that I would bet could beat the Nuggets in a 7-game series, or beat even the Suns in a 7-game series, or the Kings in a 7-game series. If we're just strictly talking about it from a standpoint of talent versus talent, that's not what this is. Basketball is about out-coaching the other guys on the floor, and Darvin Ham hasn't done that. So that's what needs to happen. What needs to happen is Darvin Ham needs to stick to one game plan, one coaching game plan. And unless someone gets hurt, unless someone gets traded, unless someone is just playing downright egregious where it's detrimental to the team, that needs to be the game plan, and let the guys on the court figure it out.
TV, this is basically what I said last week. Like I'm rocking with this plan so much more in terms of the viewpoint of where the Lakers are, because this is literally what I said last week when we were talking about New Year's resolutions. You asked me when it came to the Lakers, what do I feel like is the one thing they need to focus on this year? I said verbatim, watch yourself. This is a team that gets emotional and reactionary, a la what Marcus was saying beforehand, because when the media starts speaking about their situations, things start to gas up, things start to change around there, and they change drastically. It kind of is the way that LeBron James teams are led, but the Lakers in particular, a lot of their incompetency over the years has always spurned from them situating themselves around what is being said about them or around them. This is a team that clearly is talented enough. What was the whole point of the in-season tournament run in the first place then, if they weren't good enough, right? That was the competitive version of early season, regular season basketball. If that team was good enough to do that, I'm not saying, okay, that means they're going to make a run to a championship, but in the early portions of the season, they played very top-tier basketball at what would be considered the most aggressive time in the regular season to, play on that level. That clearly, to me, proved that they were at least good enough to make a playoff run or make a lot of noise in the Western Conference. So with that representation behind them, they don't necessarily need to look at themselves in any kind of panic or manic kind of way. I think they just need to keep going the course, with that one tidbit being, your coach needs to figure himself out. Because Marcus said it beforehand, this wasn't happening last year. And we're talking about basically having the exact same group of guys. So I don't know where the midlife crisis came from. I don't know where things really turned in terms of LeBron James, because, again, mentioned earlier, the minutes restriction, TV, we literally laughed at it for 2 straight episodes when it was brought up, when the concept of it was brought up. Like, make your mind up. It's been like this from the very beginning. I think once they establish that, the rest will fall in place.
Yeah, I mean, you guys basically said it all. They just gotta. I don't think they need to make any changes towards the roster, really. If anything, it's just moving around the edges, but not making like that major trade that everyone kind of expects the Lakers to make. It's just more trying to figure out the one lineup they want to stick with, whether it's the lineup that led them to the Western Conference Finals last year, or just what do you think is the best 5 with the guys you currently have right now. Stick with it and just move forward with it going forward, and you just kind of have to live or die by that hill. But yeah, the Lakers, it's still a lot of season left. I don't think we've even made it halfway, but the Lakers being a topic and trying to figure out their roster seems to be like Groundhog Day every single year. Moving on to the next topic, the NBA Allstar starting voting has been going on for a couple weeks now, and Jay and myself haven't made our All-Star starter picks. And now that we have Marcus on board, we're going to be going through each of our starting lineups that we believe should be the All-Star starting lineups for the East and the West side. So we're going to start over on the East side. We're going to start over with the backcourt. I'm going to throw it over to Jay to start off with over here. Jay, who do you have as your backcourt for the Eastern Conference All-Stars?
I'm not going to lie. This might be a little aggressive, but I'm going to go with the double Tyrese backcourt. I'm not going to hold you. In terms of Tyrese Halliburton in his own right, that seems like a lock. That seems more than understandable. He's been one of the best point guards in the NBA this year. He's easily taken one of the largest leaps in the NBA. On the opposite side of that, the guard position, I don't see too much competition there in terms of Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey's been super consistent. He's playing some of the most minutes in the NBA across the board this year. Honestly, I think he's going to end up leading the league in minutes by the end of the year with the way they've been utilizing him. And I think when you go down the board, I think there's a couple of names that stick out. This is easily one of those that I can change. So as we talk through it, forgive me. I think the front court is a little bit more established, but the back court is one where I'm willing to move around. But the only people that I really see in the Eastern Conference as real competition for the way Tyrese Maxey has played this year is secretly Trae Young, who's started to really catch fire as of late. He would probably be the other one that comes to mind. And then Jalen Brunson. Those are probably the 2 guys that come to mind next to Tyrese Halliburton in the backcourt. Like I said, this one is not definitive to me. The front court feels a lot easier, but in the Eastern Conference particularly, I feel like the backcourt is Tyrese Halliburton and then whoever you feel most confident in. I think Tyrese Maxey so far this year has come on really strong. I think the fact that he's been able to establish himself as not necessarily a James Harden stand-in, but more so a secondary engine, more so for Joel Embiid in his own right. It's really changed the dynamic for the Philadelphia 76ers. They've been able to get out and run more. He's been able to sustain this team in games where Joel Embiid has not been on the floor. And again, I don't see a ton of comp in the East outside of Tyrese Halliburton at that guard spot. Like I said, I can be swayed. This is the one probably out of this entire portion of the podcast in terms of us picking the starters. This is the one spot that I don't have a definitive pick on. Right now, I'll say Tyrese Maxey, but I can be swayed depending on how we see.
Marcus, over to you. Your Eastern Conference All-Star backcourt.
I wasn't expecting 25 minutes into the show, Jay, when I had my eyebrows furrowed like that. I don't understand what the problem is. Okay, so Tyrese Maxey undeniably is in the backcourt for the East. That's no problem. I don't disagree that Tyrese Maxey belongs in the backcourt. I vehemently disagree that there's little to no competition for that backcourt spot when you have guys like Damian Lillard and Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson all playing really good basketball. Like,
no, I think it's misinterpreted. It's not that there's no comp. I think that it's all dependent on what you value. That's what I said was that I think it's so much
what you value
outside of Tyrese Halliburton.
Jalen, we're not building a championship roster here. We're picking the best players at the position at this point in the season.
Right. But at this point in the season, so it depends on what you value.
Value doesn't matter. Value doesn't matter. Who's been playing the best? What do you mean? We're not building a championship roster. First of all, let's just stop here for a second.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adam Silver and the powers that be in the NBA for thinking this is going to fix the All-Star game. It's not. It's going to be just as bad as it's always been.
Yeah,
so that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, and most importantly, I will not sit here and say I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm saying that Tyrese Maxey is undeserving because I'm a Tyrese Maxey fan. I love what Tyrese Maxey is doing. But what you value, we're not building a roster. We're not drafting players. We're asking we are putting together at this point, or in really by February, who the best players in their respective conferences have been. And Tyrese Maxey's up there. Yeah. But to be somewhat dismissive of Damian Lillard and Jalen Brunson and Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell because of what you value, I think is a little misleading. Because this isn't about value. This is just about who's been the two best guards in the conference so far. Unfortunately for Tyrese Halliburton, because he's had multiple 20-20 games and a bunch more games like 15 plus assists and no turnovers, right? looking like the second coming of John Stockton out here in these streets, but the black kind, so it's good for the culture, right? We love to see it. I mean, it don't really matter who's on the other side of him in the backcourt. If it were up to me, I would say it's Damian Lillard. Because if you just look at the fan vote, he has the second most votes. It just makes it really easy.
Yeah.
Then there's so many people that are going to say, oh, yeah, well, he's had a lot of inconsistent games. I mean, okay, not everyone's on all the time, right? If you don't want Dame Lillard, you could take Trae Young. The problem with Trae Young is that Trae Young and the Hawks are the epitome of mediocrity, right? So maybe it's not. Maybe you look at it. Maybe look at a guy like Donovan Mitchell, but no one wants to give Donovan Mitchell his credit because they're like, oh, what if Donovan Mitchell wants out of Cleveland? Like, that doesn't matter. Right? You can even take it a step further. You can even go back to the guy right below Tyrese Maxey. Look at Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's been hooping. What's the problem? He's a New York Knick, and no one likes the New York Knicks. I certainly don't like the New York Knicks, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't think it's about what you value. It's just about who have been the two best players at the position. And when you look at it, Tyrese Maxey's stats and Dame's stats are identical. They're identical.
Yeah,
only difference is Tyrese Maxey is shooting like 3% higher from the field and like 2% higher from three. Dame's a better free throw shooter, but Dame's also averaging more boards, more assists, and more steals. So Dame, from that standpoint, while not as efficient by like splitting hairs, Dame's been the better player. He's averaging more points, more boards, more assists, more steals. Not as efficient. He's better at the line. Like, I can go to, we can talk about Jalen Brunson. The guards don't matter, bro. Guards don't matter in the All-Star game. They don't matter in the All-Star game, bro. Guards are there to throw oops, hit a couple threes, and make a couple flashy passes. That's what they're there for in the All-Star game. Guards don't matter. What we care about is front court. But I don't know. I feel like we finally got to a point in the East where like the backcourt is really competitive. And I think a lot of us have been so in love with Tyrese Maxey because he's overcome the odds. And I don't mean to be dismissive of that because, I mean, in a way he has, but also like he's been exactly who we all expected he would be after spending, 2 years with James Harden? We expected this. That was the whole point of Philly bringing James Harden in the first place, was for Tyrese Maxey to get to this point. Now, they thought they would have another year of James Harden to help him get to another level and then really be that guy. So shout out to Tyrese Maxey for taking that next step. But despite all of that, if you look at the fan vote, if you look at the numbers tell me that the two best guards in the East so far have been Damian Lillard and Tyrese Halliburton. If you're picking all-stars, that's what it's based on. The two best players in the position. So it'd be Tyrese Halliburton and it'd be Damian Lillard.
I like that. I think we're all in agreement that Tyrese Halliburton is 100% going to be in the backcourt for the starting lineup there. And for my other position, you guys went those two guys. I'm gonna go with Jalen Brunson. I'm gonna make my case for him. Knicks fans, you got to do better with the votes, man. I'm looking at the votes right now. You are supposedly one of the most rabid fan bases in the league, one of the most passionate fans in the NBA. There's not enough votes for Jalen Brunson nor Julius Randle. I don't even think Julius Randle is in the forwards list at all.
Look at who you're vouching for right now.
Oh, Marcus, this is not the podcast for vouching for Julius Randle. Don't you worry.
I'm not saying that we should vouch for Julius Randle, but the New York Knicks fans, for as loyal as you say you are, these guys should be higher on the voting. But I gotta put Jalen Brunson as my other backcourt guy beside Tyrese Halliburton. Just he has taken the next step this year. 26 points a game, 6.5 assists, 4 rebounds, and he made it perfectly clear that he is the best player on this New York Knicks team. This team goes where he goes, and I think like with the success that they had this year and the fact that he's had some multiple standout games this year as well, I think that Jalen Brunson. I mean, there's a lot of cases to be made. I was thinking Trae Young as well as my other guy. It's just that the Hawks, as Marcus said, just scream mediocrity. But I'm going to have to go with Jalen Brunson there in the backcourt. Lillard is obviously, I would say Lillard, if I had to actually like predict into the future what's going to happen, I do think that Damian Lillard might take that position. But in terms of my all-star backcourt, I got to include Jalen Brunson alongside Tyrese Halliburton. But now we are moving on to the Eastern Conference front court. And like Jay said, this one might be a bit more established. I'm going to throw it over to Marcus. Let's see if I think we might all be in agreement here. Who do you have in your Eastern Conference front court? He had a smile on his face. I'm kind of
Why do I feel like now all of a sudden it's going to be something that's super different all of a sudden? Just because of the maniacal laugh. Oh, buddy.
Is front court 2 players or is front court 3 players? I never understood how they do the
3. They didn't make it 3 down. They made it 3.
Ooh, there, buddy.
Oh, okay. Then it's just I thought I was in the mindset that it's 2 players. Okay, if it's 3 players, then it's Giannis and Embiid and Tatum.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know what else was about to happen.
Because I was of the mindset that it was 2 players. So I wasn't thinking 3. I didn't have a 3-player mindset coming into the question. I thought it was 2.
Well, we would have stepped on the court with 5 guys and that would have been with 4 guys and that would have been a little awkward. But
well, no, I always thought it was weird. It's always weird, like breaking down front court, back court. To me personally,
I think I understand what you're saying. Just because that 3 position isn't solidified as a specific role anymore. That 3 man can be whatever. He could be your on ball presence. He could be your best post player for all you know. So I mean, I understand what you're saying. But yeah, for whatever reason, it's pretty much guard, forward, center. So I mean, they still keep that despite the fact that positionless basketball.
But I'm just picking 2 front court players. One of them being left out. But
oh, buddy, yeah. I think we agree on the 3 though. Nonetheless, though, TV does this one take? I mean, I don't want to completely poo-poo this conversation, but we're talking about at least 2 of these guys being the MVP conversation, atop the MVP conversation, even right somewhere between top 3 and top 4 if you go down the list. So
that's a conversation. Ooh, that's a whole
Is that the way that we spark this? We can have that conversation if you'd like to. We can liven this part up depending on how you want to go about it. Where do you stand on it though, Marcus? I mean,
who's on your MVP ladder?
Who's on? Okay, so across the board, TV. Actually, I just realized why he goated me for this. I know who has to come up in this convo in order for this to happen.
You don't know what I'm gonna say. I'm just curious.
I don't necessarily know if I've defined order yet. That's probably the only part that I'm still working on because of the flip over the new year. But I pretty much my 5. I have Jokic, Shea, Giannis, Embiid, and then that 5th spot. I'm in the spot. Again, I say 5th spot as if I have an order, but I think the 5th person that I've been eyeing as of late, I think is Luka would be my 5th in the conversation. Those would be my 5 right now, probably.
Not in order though. Not in order.
No, not in order. I think definitively I'll probably have an order sometime like next week for like a video for the TikTok or for an article or something like that. But like as of right now, like those are the 5 guys I got. Am I missing somebody?
We're 40 games into the season, and you can't give me a solidified 1 through 5 at MVP ladder. What are we doing, bro? Say no.
No, bro. I mean, okay. Like, are we gonna do it on the spot?
Okay.
I mean, all right, okay.
Okay, we'll go through this. Yeah, we'll do this quickly because I feel like every episode we have with Marcus that this becomes a discussion just for like just for the MVP.
Bro, I'm not here vouching for Embiid at all. I don't. It's okay. Okay.
Oh, is that what this is about? It's vouching
I think that's
for
what you think. That's what you think this is about, but that's not.
No. I just thought it was interesting because you made the face as if the conversation about the MVP ladder. I thought you thought that one of the 2 guys I mentioned shouldn't be in the conversation. I guess the conversation we're having is more about how high they are.
What person?
Embiid and Giannis. That's when the conversation came up. Is when we mentioned Embiid and Giannis, and I said I think those 2 guys are in the top 5, and you gave me the look that was like, maybe somebody might not, or maybe I'm looking for somebody specifically to be a little bit higher than just top 5. That's why I'm asking.
I personally don't think Giannis is in the top 5 of the MVP vote, but I mean, that's just my personal.
If you give me your run on that, I can give you my solidified top 5 right now. But I want to hear your burn on this one though, because I feel like that's an interesting convo to have because he's the one that I feel like we always kind of have this weird conversation about around this portion of the season. Is I feel like he does the same thing every single year. So at this point, there does become a point where I don't want to say devalue,
that didn't keep him from winning 2 in a row.
Well, that's the point, though. That's the same thing could be said for him in that similar light, which is why I wouldn't have him number 1 this year, for example, right? Despite the fact that
who number 1?
Jokic. I wouldn't have.
No, Jokic isn't number 1 because he's not number 1. It's not because he's won 2.
Okay. See, this is the convo we have every single year, and then you end up having to walk back. So I don't know. That's tough. He's normally not number 1, and then he finishes with the trophy. So it's like
Jokic isn't number 1 right now because he's not number 1.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you at this very moment. I agree with you at this very moment, but I feel like we've had this conversation 3 years in a row, and like 2 out of the 3 times, like
he's not number 2 either. But I mean, that's neither here nor there.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
What?
Okay.
What, bro?
You're not the person I'm gonna take that from. Yeah. That's just. I guess that's like the one. I'm not saying. I'm not gonna say whether you're right or wrong, but we have a history with Joel Embiid / Nikola Jokic conversations. So I mean, it's not.
I can't say Joel Embiid's not even my MVP leader. How about that for you? Look at that.
Interesting.
Okay. Oh, if it's not, I would probably put if you put me on the spot right now, I'd probably put Shea at the top. Personally,
I don't think Giannis is in the top 5. I don't think Jokic is 2nd. He's 3rd, probably. Honestly,
what's your 5? That's where I'm intrigued. That isn't. I mean, that's probably a more intriguing. I shared my 5 at least, but I mean, I can share order. But what's your 5?
SGA, Embiid, Luka, Halliburton, Jokic, Halliburton is my 5.
Hallie's in instead of okay.
I think that somehow Luka Doncic is suffering voter fatigue from an award he's never won in his career.
I agree. I 100%.
What I think is ridiculous to me. That's number 1, and it's not just because I'm a fan. Number 2, SGA is the best player on a surging Thunder team that's getting better and better. That, for what it's worth, even though I don't like the Wolves, for what it's worth, they just knocked off the number 1 seed in the West a couple days ago in the Timberwolves, right? And he's been playing too. So there's that. Then you have Embiid, who is doing something right now that statistically nobody, let alone no center, but nobody has done since Wilt Chamberlain. And if you haven't done something since Wilt Chamberlain, we're talking a very, very, very long time.
Exactly. Agreed.
Then you look at Luka. The only reason why Luka is 3rd is because he doesn't have as many wins as Joel. He doesn't have as many wins as SGA. That's the only reason why he's 3rd. If they have more wins, Luka to me is MVP of the league. Then you have Jokic. Jokic is 4th because it's Jokic. And because despite my opinions about Jokic and how we don't criticize him the way he should be criticized, I can't deny the talent he's on the floor. And then Halliburton's 5 because he's more valuable to the Pacers than I would say Giannis is to the Bucks. And that's not to say that Giannis isn't valuable to the Bucks. but they played each other 5 times, and Halliburton slapped them around 4 of the 5 times. And
this is
like,
a fair argument in its own right. That alone in its own right could be a very strong argument.
So if we're gonna sit here and hold it, like, okay, one of the big things that everyone said, was it last season, was, oh, Embiid didn't play against Jokic the second time around. Yeah, because when they played the first time around in Denver, Embiid slapped them around. What does he have left to prove, right? It's the same thing over and over and over again. Across any MVP, across any best player award, right? Across any sport, that's what matters. And so if I'm ranking MVP candidates, while no one wants to give Halliburton that respect because the Pacers are on a slide, right? They're a mediocre team. They're not going to be one of the top 4 seeds in the East. I have to look at it from this perspective and say, other than Embiid, who is clearly the best player in the conference, the 2 other guys who are right up there are Giannis and Halliburton. And Halliburton slapped around Giannis a lot more than Giannis has slapped around Halliburton. And so for that, Halliburton has to be top 5. That's just math. I'm a math guy. That's just simple. That's just simple, like, how it works, right? I can't say I'm better than Jalen and then only beat Jalen 1 out of 5 times. That's not how it works. Just like Jalen can't say that he's better than TV and only beat him 1 out of 5 times. Giannis can't be higher on the MVP ladder when there's an MVP candidate that he's only beaten once in 5 attempts. That matters to me, which is why Halliburton's 5th. Over time, he'll drop because he's not going to be able to maintain this, I don't think. But if you're asking me right now, Halliburton's 5th and deserves to be 5th.
Is the two-way aspect of it carrying at all? Do you think that's the thing that keeps Giannis in the conversation at this point, considering the circumstance? Like you said, they're practically on par in terms of what they mean to their team?
No, it doesn't. Because Giannis is that's what he's supposed to be. He's 6'11" and he plays the 4. If you're not a two-way player when you're 7 feet tall, right, and you don't really have an offensive bag, what are you doing for me at that point, right? Tyrese Halliburton has had multiple, like I said, he's had multiple 20-20 games. He's had multiple games with double-digit assists and no turnovers. Now, I'm not talking double-digit like 10. We're talking like he's had 12, 13, 14, 15. He's had 20 games assists with, games with 20 assists, no turnovers. That matters to me. And so while obviously Giannis is the better defensive player, right, there's not many guards that are better defenders than big. That's just kind of how it works at the end of the day, right? There are very few guards in the history of the league that you would look at and say are better defenders than some of the all-time great bigs. The greatest defender of all time is a big. That's how it works, right? So I'm not going to hold Halliburton's inability or relative inability to play defense compared to Giannis against him because he's a smaller guy. And that's not what he's asked to do. He's asked to facilitate the offense and not turn the ball over. And no one has done better this season at facilitating offenses and not turning the ball over than Tyrese Halliburton. And that warrants him being in the MVP conversation. Because if it weren't for those 20-20 games and those no assists, the Pacers wouldn't have even made it to the end of the season tournament championship, let alone be where they are, in standings wise, despite their style. Like, Halliburton is super, super valuable to this basketball team. I'll say it like this before we move on. You take Giannis off the Bucks, they're still a playoff team. You take Halliburton off the Pacers right now, they're garbage. They are hot garbage. That is not a good basketball team if Halliburton's not playing. The Bucks still have Dame, and that matters. I know no one ever likes using that argument, but when you're talking about most valuable player, stuff like that matters. It really, really does.
Okay. I think you're muted.
I said, I was saying my fault about making the segment a little bit longer. We just know that the Eastern Conference it's much tougher in terms of being able to like really have a real conversation about this group. I think the Western Conference is at least a little bit more competitive. Yeah. So having the MVP conversation is worth it. Tyrese Halliburton is somebody to talk about legitimately, at least for this time frame where he's still wrecking the league. Like you said, Marcus, I think he might end up coming down to earth soon. I mean, this team is already kind of headed back down to the pack.
Well, he just did a split and probably busted his balls against the Celtics like 6 minutes ago. So,
tough. Oh well. I mean, I guess like since we're on the topic of MVP, I guess I was just developing my list as you guys were talking. I guess I have Embiid number 1, got Luka Doncic number 2, SGA number 3, Giannis 4, Jokic 5. Actually, this is like the first time I had Jokic like basically like out of my top 3 for like a while now. So I guess like those would be my 5. If you guys have any of your like top 5 MVP players, let us know down below as well. But I think we were all in agreement again with the Eastern Conference front court, Giannis, Tatum, and Embiid. I think we were all in agreement there. Moving on to the Western Conference, and we're going to be starting off with the backcourt. Marcus, I'm going to throw it back to you for this one. Who do you have in your backcourt for the Western Conference All-Stars?
Pretty easily, it's Luka Doncic and it's SGA. It's not really that close. I know that Steph has the second most votes ahead of Shea, but Steph has had a lot of bad games so far this season. The Warriors have had a lot of bad games this season, and even though Steph is Steph, and those are the votes, the two best guards in the West right now are Luka Doncic and SGA, and it's even particularly close, right? No disrespect to Anthony Edwards, and I love him. I know that James Harden has finally got his life turned around, and the Clippers are starting to be on a roll. Ja just got back, so he can't be in the running, right? De'Aaron Fox playing for the Kings. They're not really hitting their stride the way that we thought they would to start the season. The two best guards undeniably are the two MVP candidates, Luka Doncic and SGA. So they are undeniably the backcourt for the
West. Yeah, no, I think like those two guys, I'm going to say right now, those two guys are also in my backcourt. We talked about, each of us talked about how they're both in our top 5 for MVP. That should tell you well enough that these guys should be the backcourt in the West. Jay, do you have any changes to that, or are you going to stick with those two?
I mean, I agree. I think the only person that didn't get brought up that would be able to push themselves into this conversation had they been on the floor a little bit more consistently was Devin Booker. I mean, when you talk about what he's been able to do offensively, both next to and without Kevin Durant offensively, specifically this year, he's definitely been one of the best guards in the NBA. It's just Luka and Shea have been on a different level so far this year, to the point that, like you said, we're having a conversation about them in MVP. Devin Booker, on the other hand, we can't say that about him right now. And there's a chance for him if the Phoenix Suns can catch fire, because he's been playing well enough, right? He has been playing well enough this year to arguably be in the conversation. But again, as of right now, it's really not even close. But when you have two MVP candidates holding down that spot.
100%. And we're all agreeing with the backcourt in the West. Jay, I'm going to throw it over to you for the West front court. Who do you got in those 3 spots?
Bro, I'm not going to lie. This one's way tougher than I would want it to be, because the only person I know for sure is Jokic. I think I also have LeBron James as one of the spots. And then that last spot, again, it gets kind of complicated for me in terms of where I'm at with it. I've seen lists that say Kawhi Leonard. I don't hate that, but I feel because he's actually, TV, we joked about it last week, he's actually been on the floor. Pretty consistently.
A lot, yeah.
And it sucks because we have to go with a forward, because I feel like outside of that, it really would be pretty straightforward, to be honest, in terms of taking either Steph or Devin Booker with the 3rd spot. But like I said, I think I have Jokic and LeBron, and then I think with that last, I think I'm gonna go with Kawhi until something else happens. I think I like AD. Actually, you know what? Let's do Anthony Davis. Let's just do the 2 Lakers guys.
Interesting. Marcus looked very it looked like he was questioning some of your picks. Who do you got on that front court then, Marcus?
Is Kevin Durant dead? Did he stop playing basketball? Did he retire? So what are we doing? what are we doing?
What do you mean? Kevin Durant he's doing what he does. He does what he always does. He's just naturally healthier.
So he's not an
this year.
All-Star?
No, I'm not disrespecting.
Always does.
No, I'm not disrespecting.
We're gonna give Kawhi Leonard an All-Star nod.
No. I didn't. I said Anthony Davis. I said Anthony Davis.
No, but you said Anthony Davis. Yes.
No, I said lists have shown Kawhi Leonard as the fourth or 5th guy.
We give no consideration to Kevin Durant at all. At all.
It's not that there was no consideration. I said verbatim out my mouth. I've seen lists that say Kawhi Leonard is the other starter. That's verbatim what I said, and I'm looking at the list at the moment.
No, the first thing that you said was, it's kind of tough.
It is.
No, it's not.
There's been a lack of consistency in the Western Conference when it comes to the forward position, and the guys who have been consistent have all been really good. Kevin Durant has been really good. Kevin Durant is also still.
Who's played better Who's played better this season? Kevin Durant or Anthony Davis? Who's had a better season?
What do you mean? Anthony Davis has been easily the 2nd best defender in the NBA, on top of the fact that he has been a top 10, top 15 offensive player. What are you talking about?
You sure that's not the question I asked?
Then it's Anthony Davis. If that's the answer, you're literally talking about one guy being effective on the offensive end as the more efficient player, but Anthony Davis has been super effective and is the only reason why the Lakers are even relatively danger on defense. Literally the only reason they're breathing on defense.
Kevin Durant has been phenomenal this season, and he's been a better player. And there's nothing wrong with that.
We've been asking about the big three playing together all season because of the fact that these guys are only but so good when Kevin Durant is on the floor by himself or when Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are together. Like, the only reason why the Lakers have a pulse is because Anthony Davis is like the second best defender in the NBA.
About Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, and I'm talking about Kevin Durant.
Right. What I'm saying is we're always asking questions about those other two guys when we're talking about the Phoenix Suns. The only reason the Lakers have a pulse is because the Anthony Davis is. Okay, because you're not the person that's part of we does not mean that's not the point. When we have conversations about the Phoenix Suns, the question is, when are we going to see the big three on the floor together? Because you cannot be able to exhaust those kind of assets into acquiring a Bradley Beal and we not see what they do on the floor as a trio. That's the conversation that comes around with it.
That have to do with KD's status as an All-Star?
We're talking about we literally just had an MVP conversation a second ago about who is more valuable to their team, and we're talking about the Lakers being literally only having a pulse defensively because Anthony Davis is on the squad. Like, what are we talking about?
What do you
mean?
Bradley Beal's availability and Devin Booker's availability have to do with Kevin Durant's status as an All-Star?
We literally just had an MVP conversation where you said we're talking about who is the better player and what they mean to their team, what they do in terms of matchups and individually how they perform. And Anthony Davis literally is.
KD's not an All-Star because Bradley Beal. No.
Now you're taking it out of context. Nobody said he wasn't an All-Star. He's not an All-Star starter. He's not an All-Star starter. No.
So he's not an All-Star starter because Devin Booker and Bradley Beal aren't playing. Since when do we base the status of an All-Star starter or not on the availability of other? That's what you're saying.
That's not what I said. You said who has played better this year.
You just said what you just said is that when we talk about the Suns, all we talk about is when the big three is going to be there. That's what you just said. Yes or no? Okay. What does the availability of Devin Booker and Bradley Beal have to do with Kevin Durant showing up and playing basketball?
Because when this team individually by himself is on the floor, he literally this team is not good when he is the only player on the floor. He's not good. That's why we are always repeatedly having the conversation when it comes to them. When Anthony Davis is on the floor, it's not close.
All-Star selections, last time I checked, now I've only been alive for 20 years. I know that both of you are older than me, not by a lot, but by a little bit, right? Okay, so I understand that. Maybe there's an era of basketball that you guys witnessed that I didn't witness. But last I checked, All-Star selections are not based on the performance of those around you. The All-Star selections are based on what you do individually on a basketball court from the time the season starts until the time the selections are made. And so it doesn't matter.
This team is not good with Kevin Durant by himself. That's why we're always talking about his supporting cast.
Again, you're talking about the status of the team. I'm not talking about the team. The Suns roster isn't good, bro. I'm not going to sit here and deny or argue that what you're saying is incorrect. What I'm saying is, what we're asking is, who has been an all-star caliber basketball player in the front court this season? KD's on that list. Whether Devin Booker and Bradley Beal,
I just think that Anthony Davis starts well over him. That's it.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you are framing Kevin Durant's status as an all-star from the mindset of, because Bradley Beal and Devin Booker haven't been available, the Suns haven't been producing the way they should be. Well, KD's out there playing with you, me, and TV, bro. 20 basketball games, he gonna win with you, me, and TV.
I mean, we're talking about him being a starter. We're literally just talking about them being. If I said he wasn't an all-star, I would completely understand this whole conversation. But I'm saying he's not an all-star starter. This team is not good. Again, like you said, this team is not good when Kevin Durant is the only all-star on the floor for this team. When Anthony Davis is on the floor.
You, and TV, bro.
And the Lakers are playing with an inconsistent head coach and no spacing. And the only reason they're good on defense is because
playing with you, me, and TV, though. Not playing with you, me, and TV, though. I'll tell you that much. Okay, Anthony Davis is playing with LeBron James and Austin Reeves and a lot more talented players than the three of us have combined in our pinkies. KD is playing with you, me, and TV, and you expect him to be phenomenal.
That's how you feel, bro. That's how you feel.
KD's averaging more points. He's averaging more assists. He's shooting better from the three. He's shooting better from the free throw line. His effective field goal percentage is higher. So
when has KD not done that? That's literally.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, okay, KD's averaging almost 30 right now, and I'm supposed to sit here and look at KD.
It's like half the league, gang. It's like 10 dudes averaging that.
You know who's not on that 10? Anthony Davis. And so what I'm saying is you want to sit here and what you're framing Kevin Durant's status as an all-star is based on the status of his team. And what I'm saying is that's not what all-stars are based on. All-stars are based on who's playing like an all-star. Kevin Durant's averaging 30. He's playing like an all-star. He's playing like an all-star. When you trade away what you trade away to get KD, number one, then you trade away what you trade away to get Bradley Beal. Of course, the team's not going to be good if all three of those players aren't available. That's a separate issue. The issue on the table right now is who deserves to be a starter for the All-Star game. And I apologize to the Lakers fans or the Anthony Davis fans who are listening. I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm saying Anthony Davis is a scrub. Because to be completely honest with you, and I can't even believe I'm about to say this, if I were to pick my three would be AD, KD, and Jokic. Honestly, if I'm being honest, because I do agree with
LeBron's the guy off. LeBron would be the guy off in my case, compared to what my three was. Okay.
Because I agree with everything that you're saying from AD's standpoint. If he is the reason why they have been so valuable, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But I can't agree with the idea that because Bradley Beal and Devin Booker haven't been available, the second and third best players on the team haven't been available, and so now the team is bad. That means KD's not a starter.
See, I think the funny part about this conversation though was this was not the argument that I thought we were gonna have though, which is the funny part about it. And this is not opposed to you or anything, like in terms of I know you're a LeBron guy, so I guess that was part of what I baked in was I was surprised that he would be the guy left off. I think the main part with it though is I think if the conversation we're having is in that case, then I think that Kevin Durant should be in more of consideration as a starter than LeBron James. I think if that's the conversation that we're having, then cool. I think the thing with Anthony Davis is I just don't have a real conversation for not having Anthony Davis as an all-star starter. I guess my thing was I felt like LeBron James is baked in as an all-star starter for the Western Conference. And so that makes the listing tighter for me because I don't see an argument against Anthony Davis.
Any conference that LeBron James is in, he's baked in as a starter.
But that's what I mean. So that's what I'm saying. I think if we're having a real conversation about all-star starter, I think that Kevin Durant is more deserving of being an all-star starter than LeBron James. But I feel as though LeBron James is typically baked in as an all-star starter. So now we're having a conversation between Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant, and we both, from my understanding, we both believe that they both are deserving of being all-star starters. Unfortunately, there's one that has to be knocked off based off this situation. If LeBron James is a lock, and essentially the one guy that hasn't been brought up is Nikola Jokic is also a lock. So it's basically becomes.
Nikola Jokic scored 4 points in the game the other day. Let's take him out there and make him come off the bench.
Man, look, man, I'm not disrespecting the Yoke, man. It's gonna be what it is until he gives me a reason to truly worry. I'm gonna let that one be what it is. But yeah, that's just one of those. I think in that sense we both agree that Anthony Davis is all-star starter caliber, and if anybody were to be taken off this list, it would be LeBron James in favor of Kevin Durant. I just think that if it comes down to Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant, and there's only one spot for it. Of course, I think I just philosophy-wise end up leaning two-way player. That's come up multiple times already in this conversation throughout this podcast. Does two-way play matter? I've asked 2 or 3 times if that has any kind of impact on where we view certain things for the Lakers with it, for example, or when we brought up the Eastern Conference starters. So I think I just lean two-way player as opposed to the efficiency of Kevin Durant in that place. But that's kind of like that's an apples and oranges conversation. If we're really breaking it down and saying LeBron James, we're taking all of your tenure out of it. We're taking the fact that when you have, like you said beforehand, the phrase was whatever conference LeBron James is in, all-star starter automatic. If we take that logic out, I think that KD and AD are automatically all-star starters, and Jokic is there as the third, and then LeBron James is the odd man looking out. I just think that LeBron James is automatically baked in, Jokic is automatically baked in, and then it comes down to AD and KD, and like I said, lean towards 80. But I feel it. This is the weird thing about me and Marcus is we end up arguing points, but we end up agreeing at the same time. And that's the tough part about it. But that's why the podcast ends up running long.
Yeah, it really depends on how you want to view this. Again, it's really up to you how you guys want to put your starting lineups. The way I've been doing is kind of putting my starting lineup in there. Sure, LeBron, no matter what, is going to be baked into that 4th position in the West, and we all know that that's going to be the case. But who is going to be in my all-star front court, that would maybe prove to be a different discussion, which you guys are probably talking about right now. But in terms of my Western Conference front court, Nikola Jokic is a lock for me. I'm going to have Kevin Durant in there, but I'm still going to keep LeBron James in there. I know Anthony Davis is probably the Lakers' most important guy on the team, but LeBron is the person that this team is built completely around, and he is still producing at a level that we never thought we would see a 39-year-old produce at. And I think that along with his play going into the in-season tournament as well, just the amount of like high-level performances that he's having, I still think that he deserves to be there. You can literally do it. I think that KD is more of a lock than those two anyway. But if you have to do like some sort of coin flip, it could be AD, it could be LeBron. But in terms of my front court, it would have to be LeBron James over there. But yeah, those are our All-Star choices for the East and Western starters. Let us know down below if you guys agree or disagree. If there's anyone that we did not mention, let us know down below who you would have in those positions. We're going to move on to one of the staples of the Hit Your Free Throws podcast, and we're going to be moving on to the NBA draft segment. And speaking of a lot of the old guys, we just discussed a lot of them in this last segment. We're going to be doing a draft based on some of the older guys around the league, and now we're gonna have a third guy, Marcus, here. So we're gonna have some guys taken off the board, so we might have more interesting lineups. But we're gonna try and have a roster. We're gonna try to build a roster with the best players in the league that are over 33 years of age. So we've done a list with the under 25s. We've done some drafts with some older young guys, but now we're trying to do a list of purely older guys. Because we have a guest on the show, we're gonna let Marcus have the first pick. Jay's gonna have the second pick. I'm gonna go have the third pick, and we're gonna keep going in serpentine style. So that means I get the first pick of the second round. Jay gets the next pick, Marcus, and then so on and so forth. So Marcus, I'm gonna throw it over to you for the draft for the over 33-year-olds. Who would you have as your number one overall pick?
Given that I just did all mine. Given I just ran out about it so much, I feel like I'd be wrong if I didn't take KD first. So. Take KD.
Take Kevin Durant. Okay, so Kevin Durant is off the board right away. Jalen, you get the second overall pick. Who do you have?
A guy who didn't come up in the conversation too much today. I'm gonna go with Steph Curry as my first pick.
Steph Curry is off the board as one of the guard picks. I get back-to-back picks here now because we are going serpentine. I'm going to go with LeBron James and Damian Lillard with my back-to-back picks. So I will take both of those guys off the board. I mean that's a duel we've been wanting to see for forever. So I think it's going to be great to have them in this type of roster. Jay, you get the next pick. Who do you got?
Give me some Bulls bias. It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be a podcast if I didn't. Let me get DeMar DeRozan at the 3.
DeMar DeRozan is off the board. Jay not had to take the Bulls guy, but there could be another Bulls guy be taken off the list as well. Marcus, you get back-to-back picks here. Who do you want with your second and third picks?
I'll take PG at the 2 and Harden at the 1.
James Harden and PG are off the board. Like those two picks. Jay, back to you with your third round pick. Who do you have? Who are you going to take over there?
Man, taking James Harden this early hurts me because I was hoping he would slip. It's gonna be a lot of mid-range action. Give me Jimmy Buckets at the 2.
Jimmy Butler at the 2 for Jay. I get the next 2 picks. I'm gonna go with. This is a tough one, but I'm gonna take two NBA champions with the Milwaukee Bucks from a few years back. Give me Drew Holiday and then give me Brook Lopez as well to man the middle. So I'm gonna have Drew Holiday. I'm gonna have Drew Holiday over there, and after we're gonna go with Brook Lopez. Jay, you get the. I think this is like your 4th round pick. Who do you got to fill out your roster?
Yeah, it is the 4th round pick, and I'm super hurt that my boy Lopez came off the board because this is the one. Again, the spacing on this team is going to be buns, but we're going to operate as close to the basket outside of Steph Curry as possible. Give me, I think, arguably like the top 2 DPOY candidate. Let me get Rudy Gobert at the 5.
Rudy Gobert, is he 33? I didn't realize he was that old already.
I think he counts.
Is he?
Let's fact check that, huh?
Let me check. I think he counts. Is he 31?
He's
Oh
31.
shoot, he's 31.
31.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
let me see. I looked up 33-year-olds earlier and they gave me on the list. Somebody's wrong then. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let me see.
You could double up on your Bulls.
No, TV, you tried to say that earlier and I'm not letting that happen. I'm sorry. That's just not gonna be.
Do it, bro. Have some respect, bro. Have some
I
decorum.
can't do that, man. I can't do that, man.
I'll be fine down there.
Fine, bro. We're gonna get murked on. Give me Nikola Vucevic. We're gonna get
There
murked on.
we go. There we go.
This team blows. We got 3 Bulls players, and they're all. Oh man, whatever.
Something you're a Bulls fan. All right.
Yeah,
you got your final 2 picks, Marcus. Who do you got?
Dang it.
I'm gonna have to change things up just a little bit because there's no good small forwards left. So
Exactly.
I'm gonna move Paul George down to my 3.
Yeah.
And slide Harden down to the 2. And I'm gonna take.
It's tough. This is honestly, like, once you get past these first 4 rounds, it's not a lot of guys left.
It's between 2 people. I had it all written out. Like, I had all my guys I wanted for each position already written out. So I'm not really too like worried or anything. I'm gonna go ahead and okay, neither of them can play defense, so it doesn't really matter who I pick here. But I'm gonna pick somebody that I know is gonna push the pace and move the ball. So I'm gonna take Russ at my 1, and I'm gonna take the big Dominican down there to be my center, Al Horford. You didn't want me to take CP3, did you?
I literally thought CP3 was gonna get off the board.
I was gonna take CP3, but I gotta be honest. Really a CP3 kind of guy. I'm not really a CP3 guy, but CP3 too slow for me. I like fast paced basketball.
That's fair.
I like my 5.
Yo, you got 3 Clippers on you. You got 3 Clippers on your team, bro.
That was not planned. I'm gonna tell you my plan. I wanted Harden, PG, Jimmy, KD, and Al Horford. That's what I wanted.
Ooh, okay.
That's what I wanted. But when Dame was gone, I was like, I gotta take Harden before it's too late. So it's okay though. Okay.
That's fair.
TV, we both still have 1 guy.
We still got 1 guy.
Yeah.
Jay, you got the next pick, and I got the last one.
Bojan.
Damn it! That's the one guy. That's the one guy I wanted left.
Bojan.
Oh no!
And he's gonna be my 4.
Oh boy!
I like my 5, bro.
Oh boy!
My 5 gets buckets, but I don't know if we guard in a parked car though. I ain't gonna hold you.
My
5 gets buckets too.
Okay, let's see. I got 1 more pick left. You took my guy in Bojan, who I wanted to be in my final choice.
That was who I was hoping Marcus didn't take when he mentioned 3s. I was like, oh Lord. Like, please, bro, don't do this to me.
I was like, oh, you took the guy. You know what? He wasn't originally on my draft board, but I'd rather have this guy at the moment than Klay Thompson. Give me Gordon Hayward at the moment.
Wow.
Wow. I don't know if that's more of an indictment on Klay Thompson or if that's just like big up in Gordon Hayward. Shout out to the PG podcast though. He was, he got to speak his truths a little bit. Dang, I didn't see that one coming, TV. He's good, but I don't know. I think I still take Klay. He's at least there.
We 100% still take Klay over Gordon Hayward.
I think so.
I just I don't know. I really don't like my. Is it something I'm not the biggest fan of, but I'll just take Gordon Hayward anyway. I'm not going back on it.
I think I have the best 5.
Let's see what we got. I'm gonna throw it over to Marcus. Start off with let us run down your starting 5 that you have for the players over 33.
I have Russell Westbrook, James Harden at my 2, PG at the 3, KD at the 4, Horford at my 5. We got spacing. We got a lot of defense, but this floor is spaced out. Russ can push the pace. He can get it to anybody he wants. He can drive, attack the basket. You got KD, greatest most efficient scorer of all time. You got PG. PG's nice. You got Harden.
PG's
my big
nice is a
Dominican
funny
dad.
way to get to it. PG's nice
You
is
got my
just too
no,
funny.
nah, bro. No, bro. I had this conversation. I don't want to go into tangent. Shout out to my guy Martin Sories. We do our women's basketball show together. We had this conversation a couple months ago about the difference between like being nice and being like great. You know what I mean? PG's nice, bro. Like, I know we clowned Brandon Miller the other, when he got drafted, you say PG's his GOAT. Like, I know we clowned him for it, but Paul George, when he get in that bag, when he not being like pandemic P or that, like when he getting in his bag, Paul George is nice. He got a nice little bag, bro. He got a nice little bag. That's all I'm saying.
That's
You put at the
funny.
3. Woo-wee. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Hey,
I like my 5 though. I like my 5.
I do. I like your 5 too. I like your 5. Jay, run us down your 5. Make your argument for why it's the best one to hear.
Man, my 5 got one too many Bulls players on it. That's already a net negative, man. I ain't gonna hold you. But we got Steph Curry at the 1. I'm gonna put Jimmy Buckets at the 2. We'll put DeMar DeRozan at the 3, Bojan at the 4, Nikola Vucevic at the 5. I think the main thing right here is just the spacing outside of Steph Curry is where you have to kind of look at it and wonder. Bojan's probably the only other person that really stretches the floor. But Nikola Vucevic, high rebound rate. He's one of those guys that is gonna be, 18 and 8. 18 and 10 kind of consistently. Bojan, we know what he does. He's kind of Mr. Consistent, and that's even in spite of being on this terrible Detroit Pistons team. I hope to get Bojan more at the heights of himself, more like last year Bojan than this year Bojan. And we know who DeMar DeRozan and Jimmy Butler are. Steph Curry, probably top 3, top 4 in this entire group in terms of players over 33. So I wouldn't say I don't know if I got the best player in the draft, but I think I got easily one of the top players in the draft, like out the gate.
Yeah, no, you got a good 5. You got a good 5. That interior presence, though, it's very lacking.
We're not blocking too many shots out here. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, you got the spacing, though. You got the spacing. All right, my lineup. At the 1, give me Damian Lillard. At the 2, give me the guy he got traded for, Drew Holiday. At the 3, LeBron James. Gordon, actually, I want to put Gordon Hayward at the 3, LeBron James at the 4, and rounding it out with Brook Lopez at the 5. Look, we have the Milwaukee Bucks kind of defensive scheme with
definitely the best defense of the 3.
I was gonna say, that's easily the best defense already.
Hey man, we talked about the potential. Like, imagine if like Drew Holiday didn't get traded, and you have a backcourt of him and Lillard. That would have been something kind of crazy. But obviously that wouldn't have happened. But we probably have the best defense out of anyone here. We still got Lillard, who's gonna be our best 3-point shooter. LeBron's been great this year, and you guys to stop sleeping on Gordon Hayward. He's actually still solid, bro. This guy's still solid.
I think Gordon Hayward is sleep on Gordon Hayward at this point. I ain't gonna hold you.
Okay.
I'll just keep it to be.
Hey, look, I just need hey, he's someone that can at least create his own shot. I don't want Clay. If I had Clay on the team, I want him dribbling. I don't want him dribbling the ball. All right, but yeah, let us know down below which team had which one of us 3 had the best team that we built, and if you guys could have built a different one. If there's other guys that we missed out on this draft, let us know down below. Guys, Marcus, this is one of the staples of the Hate Your Free Throws podcast as well. Along with the draft, we have the NBA quiz, and I told you guys beforehand we have something special to do today, because now that we have 2 people, I decided to switch things up with the quiz. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen for the YouTube viewers. Let me know if you see it or not. Do you see it, Jay?
Marcus, strap in, bro, because these quizzes that TV be on be wild.
Do you guys see the screen?
I can see the screen.
I love this. All right.
Is this bingo?
Shout out to the BDG. Shout out to the BDGE podcast, or to the show, because they do this with the NFL stuff. We're gonna do this with the NBA. Jesus. We're not gonna make so basically how this is. Marcus, you're the green check mark. Jay, you're the red check mark. You guys get 3 X's each. I need you to name me each of the top 25 points per game scores in the 2018-2019 season. 5 seasons ago. You see the numbers down below. You got the logos here. I'm gonna tell you if you're right or not, and let's see if you guys can clear the board. Remember, you have 3 strikes. So if you guys get it wrong, you guys get 3 of that. You guys get 3 wrong guesses. But I think you guys, for the first time with 2 people, I think you guys can clear the board. So let's see how this goes.
Some of these are some
Marcus,
layups. I feel like there are definitely some layups on here. I'm going first.
You're gonna go first. So Marcus, you're the
Okay.
green check mark. Jay, you're the red one. Let's see if you guys can clear this list.
I'm gonna just take the easiest one off the board. James Harden for the Rockets.
James Harden
That's
is
messed
the,
up.
James Harden is the number one.
Just go ahead and take
here.
the easiest one off the board right now.
All right. So Marcus gets a point on the board. Jay,
Is that Russ?
I said, okay. Should I make this a rule? If you have to like pinpoint which player you
do,
We just
there's
picking
multiple
one. We
logos
don't
on
have to
here.
go across.
No,
Oh,
you
we
don't.
just
You get to pick
picking
any.
one.
Pick any. Pick any. Pick any.
Oh,
No, but you already
okay.
said
Pick
Russ,
one on the
bro.
right.
No,
Let me get that.
You already said Russ.
No. Just okay. If you, I don't know if I should. You know what? For the first
I
version
thought
of
we
this
had to go
quiz,
across.
you don't have to go across, but you can go with anyone on this list. You can go anyone.
Oh,
I have
okay.
a-
Steph
I'm-
Curry's on the Steph Curry. No, do Russ. You can do Russ. If I gotta take X, I'll take X. If I gotta check, then I gotta check. I think it's Russ though.
Russ is the 22.9 over here. So
Okay.
so he's over there. So he's there.
Gotcha.
Marcus, you go.
Okay, wait. Hold on. I could just say a name out there, and if it's on there, I don't have to specify which one it is for a moment.
That's what I thought. That's why I was like, are we going across or what are we doing? That's why I want to check. Okay. Cool.
It's fine. It's fine if you're gonna give him the check. I just want to know moving forward. Like, if I want to pick a Warriors player, I have to specify which Warrior it is, type of thing. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
This is the. You know what? For the first one, I'll let you guys just do full reign on it. So you guys can just
Okay,
you can
okay.
say a
Okay,
name.
bet.
Say the
Okay.
First one. Yeah.
Got you. Okay. We're going 18-19 season.
I'm gonna specify still, just so I can really get my points across.
Yes.
Yeah. 18-19. 18-19. Okay, so then, that buck is Giannis.
Yes, it is Giannis. He is the next guy on this list over here. Jay.
Okay, wrong season. The team, the guy that I want at that Oklahoma City Thunder one, that's PG's like top 3 MVP year.
That is PG's MVP.
Yeah, that was MVP.
Yeah.
That's PG up there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Let's go ahead and get Dame for the Blazers.
Damian Lillard is obviously the Blazer on this list. My bad. I think I got the wrong one. Boom. There you go. He is the Blazer over here.
I want to try to get hard ones because if I can get the hard ones, then it's whatever.
Hey, I will say, remember, you guys have 3 strikes, so whoever is like the last one. So if I would get the easy ones out the way. If you know like a hard one like for later on, keep it in the chamber just in case you don't know if. Like,
okay, TV. That's an interesting strategy. Look at
TV and Jalen
That's an interesting strategy.
Right
No,
No,
I'm not gonna gang up on it. I have like 3 names on here that I know. I'm not gonna say I know for a fact you don't know, but I know for a fact that I just like have them stored. So that I mean, let's just get the Steph Curry one out the way. I thought we had to specify. That's where it really got real because I thought we had to tell. I think we had to specify. Then I was gonna really go crazy.
Steph Curry is the
top
top
right, yeah. Okay.
Marcus, you got next.
So then KD is going to be the next Warrior then.
He is the next Warrior. He
Yeah.
is at 26 points per game.
Bet.
KD's on the list.
Joel Embiid is definitely that 27.5.
He is 100% at 27.5. 76er on the list.
And then Devin Booker is the son.
He is the Phoenix Sun on the list. You guys got the top. You guys can get the top 2 rows easy. You guys can get the top 2 rows easy.
That feels disrespectful, TV. What you trying to say? Top 2 rows. I can go down the bottom rows. Don't do that. Don't try to play with me like that now, because I really get in my bag. Because if we want to be honest, we know that bottom spot right there. We know that one of these 21.3s is LaMarcus Aldridge. It's cool.
One of these 21.3s.
Well, it's 21.3 and one's 21.2, but I know that one.
The 21.3. The 21.3.
Well, I said 21.3 is the one I looked at.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's the.
I know one of them is Marcus Aldridge.
Yeah, 21.3 is LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yes, sir. Whew. Okay.
All right. Donovan Mitchell is the Jazz player.
Donovan Mitchell is the Jazz player.
You know what? My dog DeMar DeRozan is the other Spurs player.
He is the other Spurs player on this list. We got DeMar DeRozan over here.
Come on, man.
Okay, and then that means that Bradley Beal is the Wizard.
He is the Washington Wizard.
I don't like that. If we was playing like Connect 5, that Marcus would be jacking me up right now because that second row is crazy. So let me go ahead and block that off just because that was really bugging me out. That Toronto Raptors. it's Kawhi Leonard. So let's just make sure that doesn't happen, because that was looking real suspect for a second. Because in my mind, I'm thinking Connect 5, that joint is crazy.
No,
so
I was going next. I was about to.
You feel me? I'm like, whoa,
that
was looking a little suspect for a second. So let me get that out the way. That was looking a little crazy.
So yeah, Kawhi Leonard, the one lone season he was a Toronto Raptor, he does make it onto the list.
Look at it.
So I feel like this isn't misleading. Like, I feel like this should be simple. That Hornet is Kemba Walker.
It is Kemba Walker. He made it. This is the year he got. This is the year before he got traded to the Celtics, I believe, and he just.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking in my head. I was trying to make sure. I was trying.
Yeah, he's good. No, you're good. You're good.
That Detroit Pistons was the last time the Detroit Pistons had a post. That is Blake Griffin.
That is Blake Griffin on the list.
The last time they had a post is crazy.
Yes.
Good God.
Give me Cat right next to Blake Griffin.
It is Karl Anthony Towns to fill out the list. We got one more person in that row. Let's see if you guys can get it, but you can go anywhere, obviously. Let's see.
Celtics wise? I mean, 2018. That's still. Oh, wait a minute. I feel like you always feel like you know who that is, and then it's like maybe that's not. 2018. Oh my gosh. Is that Kyrie?
It is Kyrie.
Oh my gosh, let's go. Because you know the name I wanted, but come on, man.
Yeah. Kyrie Irving is the Celtic on this list.
Let's go.
I'm a try to steal Jalen's thunder, and I'm gonna say that Bulls player is Zach LaVine.
It is Zach LaVine.
Probably the only person breathing in 2018, but you know what I mean? He's probably the only one that really was out here talking on the Bulls in 2018, but man, whatever, man.
All right. You guys almost cleared the list. If we go to sudden death, I do have a sudden death challenge.
Ooh, say less. All right, bet. Well, we know that 21.5 is Klay Thompson. And my OCD also could not allow Marcus to try to go for that straight 5 again. So, you feel me? We gotta.
Klay Thompson is on that list.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
Okay. We're in 18-19 season. So,
please.
Man.
I need you to not know these.
Okay. I'm thinking back to the 18-19 season.
Please.
I'm thinking back to what happened in that season.
You don't remember.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark because I'm not 100% sure. I'm like 75% sure that Brooklyn net was D'Lo.
Oh
it is D'Angelo Russell who just made it on.
That's not you though, bro. That's not. You're not. That's not you, bro.
Just makes the list.
That's not.
All right. We made it to the final 4.
Snipe in there, bro. I had to get that snipe in there, baby.
Okay. Let's see. Final 4. No strikes yet. Let's see.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
All right, bro. With that 21.4, shout out to the crazy season that put my dog on. That is staple of the Hit Your Free Throws podcast, Julius Randle.
I thought that was going to be the hardest one. You did get it to go.
I was holding on to that. I was holding on to that.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Come on, man. Okay. We here with it, man. Come on, man.
We're down to the final 3. Okay, yeah, I'm going to just go with my gut. I know he was a young bull. But I'm going to take another shot in the dark. That Maverick has to be Luka.
Rookie Luka Doncic does make the list.
He's hating on my 5 straight. He was hating on my 5 straight. That's all.
Yeah, we couldn't let you be great. We couldn't let you be great right there.
Come on.
All right. Final 2.
Do I leave the one that I know? I feel like he won't know, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm gonna go with the strat, bro. That New Orleans is Drew Holiday.
It is Drew Holiday.
Oh, stop. Let's really stop.
I just want to understand what's happening right now. Okay. If I don't get this and Jalen does, do I lose?
Yes, you do.
Come on, bro. Be brave, bro. Because I'm trying to tell you. Because right now, I'm gonna let you know. Right now, I already know who Buddy is. Because TV know I got the Grizzlies banner up in the background, so I already know how I'm.
I don't.
Let's see. Yo, Marcus, can you?
Come on,
Marcus.
Man.
Can you send it to sudden death?
Nah, bro. You don't have it. You don't have a Braun bank shot in you. You don't got a Braun bank shot in you, bro.
Let me think.
Be quiet real quick.
I'm gonna just take a shot in the dark. I'm just taking a shot in the dark, okay? I have no confidence in this answer whatsoever, bro.
Yeah.
I have no confidence in his answer whatsoever, bro. But we're talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. I know he was still there in 2018. I know he was still there in 2018.
Please.
So my guess is that is Mike Conley.
Oh my God.
It is Mike Conley.
That's so pain, bro.
list.
That's so
Clear out
pain,
the
bro.
list.
Because I literally
Plus,
knew who it was, bro.
Mike
That's so
Let's
pain,
go,
bro.
Let's go, bro.
Oh, should I have left that one? That's
I was
so
hoping
pain.
you didn't know that. I was hoping you didn't know that Pelican. That's what I was looking for.
Oh,
I was
that's
looking for
the
that
one you was.
Pelican, bro.
See, I was.
I was
That's
looking for that
funny,
Pelican.
man.
Bro.
Look, I gave you guys an easy one to start to do. So for future, again, this is for the sudden death. The way we're gonna do this is I'm gonna go to the number. I'm gonna go through each next player on the list. I'm gonna give you the team, and you guys are gonna type it out in the chat that we have. I'm gonna give you the team. All you have to do is type out the player. I tell you to hit send. Once you hit send, both players are gonna appear on the screen for me. And if you guys get it right, then we're gonna move on. If you guys both get it right, we're gonna move on to the player down the list.
This is kind of scary. Okay.
It's a little bit too confusing.
You're saying we're typing in the chat so that
here,
we don't influence each other?
So this is
we're
what
typing
we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you guys the team. So that's the top 25. I'm gonna give you number 26, the team who plays that the number 26 plays for.
That
Both
played
you guys,
at that time.
At that time, yeah. I'm gonna give you the team that he played for. You guys are gonna type it out in the chat, in the Skype chat that we have here. Once I tell you to press send, both of you are gonna hit send at the same time. If you guys have the same player, we're gonna move down to number 27. And if the same thing happens, move down to 28, 29, etc., etc. Yes, Marcus.
Is this also set up on a grid?
No, it is not. This one's not set up on the grid.
So there's no PPGs. It's just literally like you're gonna give us a team and we have to come up with
No. It's PPGs. No. So I'll give you like the amount of points they scored that season per game and the team that they played for.
Hey.
So.
Hey.
Okay. You guys got it? You guys got it?
I gotta fight for my cheeks. They told me that I gotta defend this podcast. I gotta fight for my cheeks on this pod, bro. It's not gonna happen like that.
Whoa.
This is my house. This is where I sit. You gotta let me do me. You gotta let me do me. Don't pause my stuff. Don't pause my stuff.
You talking about fighting for cheeks?
I protect my space. You feel me?
Hey.
Okay. Next. Okay. Let's move swiftly along.
Just for that, he gonna lose.
So
next person.
Okay.
I might do.
26. Number 26. This guy played for the Trailblazers. Type it out. I'll give you guys 20 seconds to type out who you have on the list.
Bro. I don't need 20 seconds, bro. I'm really here. I don't need 20 seconds, bro. I'm really here.
Marcus, you ready? You got it down?
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't need 20 seconds.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Send it in.
Stop it.
Both of you said CJ McCollum. Yes,
here,
he is number 26.
Here,
all right.
You can't come onto my podcast and beat me in this, bro. I'm not allowing it, bro. Can't let that happen, bro. Sorry, bro. Can't let that happen,
Number 27. Number 27. 20.8 points per game. The Orlando Magic.
Stop it.
Bro.
Okay. Marcus, let me know when you have yours in. I think Jay has his in.
I'm not playing, bro. Like, stop playing.
Jay.
I can hit send the minute I press it, bro. I can hit send the minute I type, bro. Don't play with me, bro. I'm really out here, bro. Don't play with me like that. I really do this.
I'm guessing.
No. Guessing is not. I don't want to hear guessing, bro. I'm really do this. I really do this. Like, this is really me. Like,
I believe you. Nah, it's okay. Nah. Matter of fact. Next week we're having a sport. No, next week we're gonna have a special episode of Go Talk for Basketball. You two
say
less. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry. We're gonna do this.
We're gonna do this. That's lit. Say less.
Okay, let's go. All right. So you ready, Marcus?
I think so.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Send it in.
Not like that.
Both of you are correct. It's Nikola Vucevic.
No.
Both of you are correct. Nikola Vucevic.
Like he's not even that guy.
All right. Next. The Sacramento Kings.
Stop playing with me, bro. This is a joke.
All right,
2018.
The Sacramento Kings.
The Kings.
Stop it, bro. I really do.
He averaged 20.7 points per game.
Yeah, bro, and he's really a dog.
19 King.
2018, 2019, he's really dog, bro. Stop playing with him. He's really him. Stop playing. I really do this, bro. Stop. It's just kind of a part of my association, bro. It's kind of how I do things. It's kind of how I put dinner on the table, man. You know what I mean? You don't.
I feel so much better about this.
You don't know things.
I feel so much better about this. This is a grid, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
No Kings basketball. Like I don't Kings basketball. Let's not do this.
Sacramento Kings.
Oh, it got to be him. It has to be this one. I don't know who.
Oh, brother, here he goes. He thinks he knows who he's talking about. Like, listen.
Okay. Okay, you guys ready? You guys ready?
No.
3, 2, 1, go.
No, he's a joke. No.
Oh. It's Buddy Hield.
Stop,
Buddy Hield.
I do.
No.
You don't know Kings basketball, bro. I know Kings basketball. Don't do that, bro. Like I really do this.
Hey, you're a Bulls fan that knows Kings basketball. Not a
hey, bro. Look. We have to find mediocrity around the league every way we can. You know what I mean? We have to do what we can. You know what I'm saying? In 2018, 2019, that's a lot of basketball to watch, man. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta look around the league.
Can you name the 30 player? Can you name the 8 players that scored 30K in NBA history?
That scored 30K in his not off the dome. That in history?
I think I could. I think maybe I could.
I mean,
Boo.
yeah, I know KD just joined the list.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. No, it's like wait.
KD doesn't have.
No,
KD
this
doesn't have
is good for me.
No, he doesn't have 20K. That's
Dirk. One of them Malones. He who shall not be named.
Moses, right?
No.
Yeah,
Moses.
No, Moses is close.
Oh, the he who should not be named.
Carl. It's Karl Malone.
The he who should not be named.
Carl.
Yep.
Yeah. Wilt. LeBron.
LeBron's on it, duh.
Michael.
Yeah.
Kobe, Shaq, and Kareem.
Shaq's not on there. Kareem is there, but just not Shaq.
Yeah, I didn't think Shaq was on. That would have been the guy I definitely would have got wrong.
I don't think you're going to get the 8th person, but it's a really good player.
Is it because he's like super ancient or because like?
No, we know him. He's not ancient. Like we know him. We all love him. You're just probably not going to get it.
Oh.
Is he like
Huh?
Is he like current-ish? Or is he like no?
I don't think so.
I thought Shaq was on that third team.
But we all know and love him though.
We know it. Allen Iverson? What the heck?
No, not AI.
Sound right?
24,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say Allen Iverson.
No,
I'm thinking of the context of what he said. We all know and love him, but you'll get the answer wrong. That's kind of where I'm like, so it's somebody we like, but it's somebody that like, right there.
Wait, what? Give us an era.
He's literally 8th. Like he's.
Oh, that's terrible. TV knows from history. Yeah, I'm not good at the last guy.
He has just over is last. He has just over. He's just over 30.
Wait, is he an 80s dude? Is he an 80s guy?
He's 60s, 70s.
67.
67. Oh well, no wonder.
Oh god.
Is it 60s, 70s? Yeah, I think he's 60. He's either 60s, 70s, or 70s, 80s. I know he's 70s though, for sure. I can't remember when his career started.
This doesn't include ABA, right? Because I know ABA like messes me up sometimes. Doesn't include ABA?
No, it does.
Then it does?
It does, yeah.
Oh, so it's Julius Erving then, right?
Yeah, it's Dr. J. Yeah.
Oh, Dr. J.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one. Okay, we all love him, but
ABA messes me up sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
The ABA does throw some off because like Dan Issel has like 27
that's
points.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
But like
that's the dude who comes up
like,
on bad lists and you're like, why?
But
like,
he has like 15. But he only has like 15, 16,000 in the NBA. So yeah, the ABA definitely messes it up a bit.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I was like, once I got the ABA thing, yeah, Dr. J is for sure. Always. All right. Wow. This is a damn good quiz. You guys put up a fantastic effort for both of you guys. So if this is gonna
we're gonna run grids this weekend. Matter of fact, we're running grids this weekend, and it's going all over socials. I swear to God.
Yo, I'm ready for that.
We might as well just make this. Honestly, we might as well just make this our thing. We're running grids, and it's going up every Saturday. I swear to God.
Ooh, let's freaking do this. Let's do this. All right, but yeah. All right, man. Great episode. This is a fantastic way to end it. Thank you, Marcus, for coming on the pod. First guest of the Hit Your Free Throws podcast. First guest of 2024. Where can they find you? And just tell them like where all your links and everything. Promote yourself, man.
Oh, it's a privilege and an honor to come on this show, no matter how much I bust Jalen's balls and no matter how much I make Jalen laugh. I truly appreciate coming on the show with you guys.
He's a fool.
You guys definitely know what you're talking about, and I wouldn't want to talk ball with anyone else other than you two. As far as where you can find me on the Give Us a Shot Network on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram at GTPMarcus. You can follow me on TikTok at GTPMarcus. You can follow me on Twitter at GTPMarcus. Type in at GTPMarcus on just about anything, and you'll probably find me. If you can't find me, you're not trying hard enough. Tomorrow night will be a brand new episode of the Protect Our Queens podcast, the first of 2024. We're talking about Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. We're talking about the bigs in the 2024 draft. And the very first guest of Protect Our Queen podcast was Kimmy McMiller. She recently committed to Rutgers University. We'll be breaking down all that and so much more. And then on Wednesday night, it is going to be the first episode of GTPMarcus of 2024. I'll be breaking down every single game of the NFL playoffs, starting with Wild Card Weekend this weekend. So it's going to be super, super fun. I am back to being a two-show freak, and I am super duper excited for it. You can find it all on the Give a Shot Network on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. You can also hop in on Instagram now and just click the Give a Shot Network live on Instagram. You'll be able to check it out there as well. So super, super, super excited for 2024 because we're going up.
Yeah, for sure. And don't even worry about it, guys. This is not going to be the last time Marcus is going to be on this show. So you're going to find all his links down below. You can see some of the episodes that we've been on his show as well. So all of those can be found below to the Give Your Shot Network, to his pages and all that good stuff will be found in the description of this video or any of the links that we post for this episode. Jay, in terms of the Hit Your Free Throws pod, what do you have to say to these beautiful people before we head out?
Hey, bro, we warned y'all. 2024, we wasn't playing. Last week, we went for one of our more interesting episode formats with doing New Year's resolutions. This year, we brought you guys a guest, and we're going to try to make this relatively consistent. If we don't have a guest every week, we're going to have something brand new every week. 2024 is going to be built off of different content, different ideas, different concepts, and this is going to be a really good chance for us to show what we know outside of basketball in terms of this content creation space. So y'all going to see some unique things. TV switched up the quiz. If you think this is the first time he's going to change the quiz, it's a lot of year left. So be prepared. If you think I was surprised by this, you know, I get shocked every single week. And I think he's going to keep it up on that one. So like I said, it's a lot of unique stuff coming in 2024. Looking forward to it.
100%. And you're gonna be able to find all of this on YouTube, on the podcast networks. Remember to check us out over there, all over there as well. And also make sure you check out our TikTok and Instagram for the best NBA content. This is the end of today's episode. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed today's episode. This is Marcus. This is Jay. This is TV signing out. Hope you have a fantastic day. Take it easy, guys. Peace.